Rachel Stephen back with another video here on Live Study Hacks. And before we begin, I would like to wish you guys a very happy new year and a good start to 2023. And as to begin this year, I want to talk about how we can really have good conversations with people. And it's a very big problem us high schoolers have to face. We have so many day-to-day interactions with our fellow peers. And I know that I've been in a situation where I got this assigned group project, and I would personally fear whether our final product would turn out good. Working with other people can be really stressful and scary, especially new people, and this is where we have to make the right first impression in order for the opposite person to really like you. This does not only apply to your classmates, but even talking to your teachers. You need to behave in a way that will allow others to see the best possible version of you. So in today's video, I will give you some multiple success tips in order to master the art of networking. But before we begin, please make sure to like and subscribe to Live Study Hacks to help support the children of incarcerated parents. Okay, let's get on to this video. The first tip to really get people to like you is to call people by their name. Your name is probably the most important and appreciated. Imagine you're at a party and someone just says your name. You immediately perk up and recognize it and pinpoint the name. We hone in on that specific conversation. You simply taking the action to remember someone's name really shows that you care and remember. So try to associate a person that you recently met with a related image to really know the person's name. The second thing to keep in mind is to wait for a couple minutes before you respond in a conversation. This makes you seem like a listener. Listen and let other people talk about themselves. Harvard researchers found out using fMRI machines that people love talking about themselves and their brain lights up. They even declined money to get to talk about themselves more. It increases dopamine, so make someone's day by simply listening to them. Remember something I say over and over again on this channel is to be quick to listen and slow to speak. Listen and let the other person feel good, and this kind of shows that you also have control over the conversation. Now, while you're listening, you have to make sure you ask questions or summarize to make the other person feel like they're being heard. You don't want to simply just sit there and just let the other person talk, because the other person doesn't feel engaged. Conversation is really hard to master, but with practice, it can come very naturally. But remember, while doing this, do not try to one-up someone or simply just congratulate them. Be friendly, but not a people pleaser, asking for validation, worth, and independence. During a conversation, be laid back and have a more relaxed attitude. Also make sure you're secure with yourself. If you're not secure with yourself, the conversation would just automatically go downhill. If you have multiple conversations with that person and mention something that they've told you, it shows that you value their relationship. Occasional platonic physical contact is also good. It releases oxytocin, which brings pleasure. I remember doing this to a person who I personally felt was nervous during a presentation, and I reassured and touched her on her arm, and I was like, you really did a good job. Like, reassuring small physical contact is good, but do not overdo it, and get a feel of the conversation before you do anything. It creates a lack of barriers emotionally and physically. It allows one to open up and lower their other senses. The use of eye contact, squinting and furrowing your eyebrows also shows that you're listening. Open body language is also really important. No crossing, no fidgeting. Making someone feel like you're not a physical threat, that you're there and you're open. If you see any commonalities or feelings of similarities in a conversation, call them out, or finishing each other's sentences are perfect. It shows that the two of you are in sync. It feeds this new sort of amazing energy. Teasing also is another great way to enhance a conversation, but be careful and not to correct the person, and do not own up if it contradicts fight mood. Putting them on the spot is good, but please do not attack someone's identity, but teasing something that everyone looks back on gives the same idea that we're all on the same team and that we're just simply trying to have some fun. The third tip is to give people genuine compliments. The things you notice about their personality shows that you develop familiarity with them. If you really need to get in a deeper level and understand these things, spend more time with them. Also make compliments based on actions, on what they earn. Like maybe it's something like they improved their voice, or noticing something that they are personally struggling with and you notice that they were working on it. It makes the other person feel 10 times better about themselves. Also make sure you convey an ideal version of yourself, seeing the most loving and generous side of you. This is called the Pygmalion effect. Also, it's important to convey that you're not all that perfect. You should embrace your flaws. You don't have to be perfect, but simply intelligent, capable, but not perfect. Blender tends to humanize people. There was an experiment done and there were test takers, and people tended to like test takers who scored great, but also had struggles. They spilled their coffee, and not on their paper, but they just spilled their coffee, and they just had their flaws, and this kind of appealed to people more compared to the test takers who just scored good. They seem more, those type of people, those test takers seem more capable and reliable and relatable to the viewers who watch the experiment. My last final tip before we go to the bonus section of this video is to always look at the positives. You should bring this nice aura of happiness and peace. Be bright and have a positive attitude and make the other person feel happy. Be that light in the darkness. But do not be afraid to talk about deep topics though. Talk about things that move people and hardships, but sometimes we are afraid to talk about vulnerability. It defines us, it allows you to be empathetic, and many people just need an outlet to show their deep and hidden emotions. So be that person to really be happy, have that positive energy about yourself so that people are drawn to it and come to you. So these are some extra tips that you should keep in mind when trying to get other people to like you. You should exceed exceptions. Go above and beyond. Remember the meal that other people like, that the other person likes, and know their dislikes. Like doing a favor for them without asking. For example, going to the grocery store and buying something that your friend is hangry for and picking it up. Those are good signs of people liking you. And also be the first person to joke. Crack a joke and be receptive and appreciate a joke. Also, your pitch matters when you're trying to get the other person to crack up too. And also make sure you laugh a lot in general, but make it natural and just make sure that they feel that you get them. Be that support system and get them to think that they are loved. I want to leave you guys with this quote by Dale Carnegie. To be interesting, you have to be interested. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. To help support this channel, please make sure to subscribe and like this video to help support the children of incarcerated parents. Bye everyone, and I'll see you guys next time.